Stacy, we have what, a 63?
62. Between 62 and 63 mile per hour wind gusts recorded at the Evansville airport. So very accurate recording there. And that was our highest observation so far that we've had reported. We had a 58 mile per hour wind gust reported from the city of Henderson. But yes, so those are certainly severe criteria. And then that's what prompted that severe thunderstorm warning to be issued off to the east of Evansville.
And it would be that line, that line right there that's about to pass into Spencer County, Wayne.
Indeed, yeah. So far, damaging straight line wind, that is the main concern. We're watching for the potential of a brief spin-up tornado somewhere within the line. We haven't seen that yet. A hint here and there, but nothing that would indicate we actually have a tornado. But there are the severe storm warnings on the board right now. Warwick, Spencer, Davis, far eastern Henderson, McLean, western Muhlenberg, Hopkins, and a good deal of Webster counties, all under severe storm warnings. As you can see here on Live First Warning Doppler radar, line of storms is now east of Highway 41 in Indiana. So the severe threat has ended for Vincennes, Princeton, Evansville, Henderson, and pretty much for Newburgh, too. I think the worst of the storm is now east of the Newburgh area. The line does curl back to the southwest here. So Madisonville, you've yet to see the worst of the storm. That's coming into the far western portion of Hopkins County right now. But it looks like Sturgis, you're just about in the clear there as this line continues to push off to the east-northeast. I'll show you the loop here. Individual storms are kind of pushing northeastward, but the entire line with the cold front is moving off to the east. So you can see that part of the line here that's kind of bowing out a little bit. That's where we've had most of the damaging winds reported with that portion of the line, which is now very close to the Warwick Spencer County line. No warnings for Pike or DuBois counties. We told you about the special weather statement up there. But that line looks like it's growing in intensity, at least in terms of the organization and the reflectivity, and a decent amount of lightning, and that's about to cross over into DuBois County. So wouldn't be surprised if we get a warning for DuBois County. But that part of the line there to the east-northeast of Evansville looks to be the greatest likelihood perhaps producing damaging straight line winds. And then down here to the south, that line also getting organized as it pushes across Hopkins County and Webster County. And keep in mind, the air is a little more unstable in our southeastern counties. You haven't seen much rain at all down there yet today. Temperatures have been up around 80, whereas up to the northwest, we had a few more rounds of showers and thunderstorms this morning that at least stabilized the atmosphere a little bit. So the air down here is much richer, if you will, to produce or at least to support severe storms, and that's why the threat could begin to ramp up a little bit more for Hopkins, Ohio, and Muhlenberg counties down to the southeast. But right now, the warning goes through the western half of Muhlenberg County at this point, and then continues up here to the north. So we'll zoom in here and get down there along the Warwick Spencer County line. And to do that, I'm going to go stop the radar here and just show you the pure reflectivity along that line. And as we do that, I will go ahead and pan this up and down the line. And as I mentioned earlier, this part of the line getting a little stronger, approaching the DuBois-Pike County line. No warning there, but we do have a warning now. Eastern Warwick County and Spencer counties, that leading edge getting pretty much right along the line, or the county line. It has crossed over into southwestern Spencer County. It's still pushing through the Tennyson area up in the northeastern portion of Warwick County, but it's along this leading edge right here where we have that potential for some damaging straight line winds. And as we check out the velocity data once again along that line, we'll see if we can pick out anything of interest. And we do have a little notch right there. So that, again, we've seen this a few times this afternoon where along the leading edge, there's some wind shear out there, and we start to see these circulations trying to spin something up. Nothing all that strong, but a little notch there, and that would be moving towards Richland area there in southwestern portions of Spencer County, and eventually up towards the Christney area if that were to hold together. Some specks of brighter red along that line also, which would indicate maybe a greater likelihood of those winds in excess of 60 miles per hour. This is raw velocity. We have two different ways to look at the wind. We can look at it just the way the radar sees it, but then we have what's called storm relative velocity, which takes into account the motion of the storm, factors that out, and we try to look at what's really happening within the storm itself without the actual motion of the entire storm, what the winds are doing inside of it. And so the storm relative, the SRV, often gives us a better indication where the most dangerous part of the line is. So we'll watch that notch right here. Up to the north, and maybe this is why there's no warning here. You can see that gust front is not nearly as pronounced up here. Even though we're seeing a pretty significant line of reflectivity with lightning on it, we're not seeing that really organized line. And here's the new sweep that has just came in, and we'll see that to kind of fill in there north of 64. But it is now almost cleared all of Warwick County. So now that gust front is surging across southern Spencer County, about to move into central and northern portions of the county. There's the rest of the sweep there. So it's just about up to Dale, not quite into Christney yet. It's through the Richland area there, heading towards Rockport, Owensboro. This is about to move in from the west, so this will be your main event. Not seeing anything overly concerning along the line, but again, potential there for damaging 60 to 70 mile per hour winds with this line. And it looks like we have an update to a warning. Check that out, Stacey. Not sure what's going on there. We'll get to you in a moment, but you can see the leading edge of the wind pushing up into the Calhoun area. Sacramento is now pushing through Madisonville, that leading gust front, and then curling back to the west of Nortonville. So that's
actually
the latest.
A new warning.
A new warning. So what do we have?
That's now a severe thunderstorm warning from the National Weather Service out of Louisville. They have now gone with the severe thunderstorm warning for southern DuBois County and also northern Perry County, and that's going to go until 4:15 Eastern, 3:15 Central, so about 35 minutes there. And that means that they're talking about 60 mile per hour wind gust as the main concern. And that's basically what we have been seeing from this line as it has continued to just move to the east across most of the tri-state. They have that severe thunderstorm or that line located near Dale right now, and they have it moving east a little faster, 65 miles per hour. Again, 60 mile per hour wind gust, the main concerns. And we have had several reports now of some trees, wires, some power lines down, especially from parts of Evansville, some areas up around the airport on the north side. And the newest report, let me go back and check that again here from the National Weather Service out of Paducah, just so you kind of know, there was a large tree reported down now in the McCutcheonville area there in northern Vanderburgh County. And that's also where we had in northern Vanderburgh County around Kansas Road, some wires down. Kramer Road, which is more on the west side of Evansville, also several trees down there. So again, that's where most of our reports right now are coming out of, kind of the north and west side of Evansville. And again, now we have that severe thunderstorm warning extended for just north of Interstate 64 there in southern DuBois County and then also northern Perry County. So National Weather Service out of Louisville at least thinks they're seeing enough on radar and from these reports that we've been getting along this line to go ahead and issue that severe thunderstorm warning there. And then actually we have an update real quick on the one that's more to the south of the Ohio River. So let me grab that for you. This is the one that is in effect for still
the Hopkins
County. Yeah, so we're still going to continue the severe thunderstorm warning for Muhlenberg County, McLean County, and Hopkins and eastern Webster counties. They're going to keep that going. Again, a little farther to the west, they're going to let that expire. But still just talking about 60 mile per hour wind gust. And I also saw that in the downtown Madisonville area, there was a 44 mile per hour wind gust reported there. That's obviously below severe criteria, but still a pretty strong wind gust there. And we have seen along this line where they have become even stronger than that. So still continuing all of our severe thunderstorm warnings going off to the east, Wayne.
All right, let's follow that line from north to south, show you where the leading edge of the potential damaging winds are. And there's the brand new warning for our northeastern counties. It's southern DuBois, so they're not as concerned with the northern part of the line that's moving towards Jasper, but kind of is along and south of Indiana Route 64 there. Huntingburg, Birdseye in the warning, but Jasper is not. Northern Perry is, but Leopold is not. So that's the corridor where they expect the strongest winds, basically along that surging line. It's not quite bowing out, but that's kind of surging out ahead of the main line. And that's where we have that potential for damaging wind approaching the Highway 231 corridor now in both southern DuBois and Spencer counties. We'll check velocity here. And again, that will give us a better idea of where some of the strongest winds are occurring as we go down the line here. The red meeting the blue, that's where you have the strongest winds. That's the gust front there. And that's where you have that potential for some damage approaching Highway 231. So there's Christney, there's Dale. Looks like the threat is pretty much over now for Warwick County. That gust front has cleared Warwick County. It's now pushing across southwestern Spencer County. You can see that surging out a little bit. So anytime where you don't see just a straight up and down line, that could be an indication of a potential stronger winds. And it might be this area right here, which is trying to surge out ahead of the rest of the line, where those winds may be enhanced a bit. And that's just about to push into Rio, just about to go into Rockport and Owensboro, just about to move into your area. It's more of a straight line there, just west of the Owensboro area, but your main event here for damaging straight line winds, that potential is about to move in from the west down to the south. We got the leading edge pushing through Calhoun into Sacramento, and then back down here into the Madisonville area. The reflectivity, I think, will give a little better view down here to the south, where the velocities aren't quite as distinct, but you can see the leading edge has gone through Madisonville and Hanson, so that severe wind threat is beginning to shift east of I-69 now in eastern Hopkins County, moving towards western Muhlenberg County. There's Central City, there's Greenville, Sacramento, so moving your way, leading edge about to push into the Calhoun area, and then up here to the north. You can see that heavy rain pushing towards Owensboro. There is a little bit of a notch right there pushing towards the west side of Owensboro. Didn't see anything on velocity. Let me take another quick look at that just to make sure that nothing is trying to spin up within that notch. Not seeing anything there, but we'll keep a close eye on that, which is now actually shooting up just north of Owensboro, right across the Blue Bridge into the southern tip of Spencer County. So the storm is now pushing into downtown Owensboro, the entire city. And if you're going to get any kind of damaging wind in Owensboro, it's going to be happening right now in the next few minutes as this storm surges across the city from west to east. Again, we had confirmation of severe wind gusts when it went through Henderson, when it went through Evansville. So the potential is certainly there for some damaging straight line winds. Up to the north of the river, it's through Rio. It's now pushing into Rockport, heading up to Grandview next. It's just about to cross 231 there in central and northern Spencer County from Christie up into the Dale area, and then up in southern DuBois County. It's just about to push into Huntingburg, so main event coming up now for the Huntingburg area. Now, Jasper, you're not under a warning. You still have a pretty healthy cell that's going to be coming in here from the west with a decent amount of lightning and at least some strong gusty winds. So that's the leading edge of this line as it continues to work through the tri-state, more in our eastern counties. I'll kind of reset to the table here and show you the bigger view, kind of bring everyone up to date as far as what is going on. Again, the severe threat is over with now for Evansville, Henderson, Newburgh, and really points certainly west of 41 in Indiana, and just about west of I-69 also in Indiana, but not so much in Kentucky. The leading edge of the storm is just crossing over the Highway 41 I-69 corridor there. So the focus here in the next 30 to 60 minutes will be Muhlenberg, Ohio County, not under a warning at this point. You'll probably get one, we'll see. And then Hancock County still left, eastern Davis County, eastern Spencer, a good deal of DuBois County still, and then eventually Perry County. But that is the line that has been driving all the warnings so far this afternoon. Yes, you have an update, Joe?
Wayne, if you could, use the hand tracker there, go to your camera tools or just to show the cameras.
Sure.
What I've done is I've positioned our brand new Central City camera.
Okay.
And I've pointed that one off to the west. Oh, I forgot that's not in hand tracker yet. Control room, do you have access to our new Austin Holmes camera down in Central City there? We can, okay.
Let me find a way up on the Max box.
Let me find a way to get access to it.
That's going to be just to the north of Central City, where the storm has yet to arrive, but we'll have a brand new view for you all in Muhlenberg County of that storm as it comes in from the west. Not quite there yet. Matter of fact, Central City's right on the edge of that severe storm warning as that line is moving your way. But right now, the concern for damaging straight line winds, Huntingburg to Dale, Christie, Rockport, Owensboro, curling back to Calhoun, and then down into Sacramento, areas just east of Madisonville, and then down into the Nortonville area. That's the leading edge of this line of storms, which may have in areas some pockets of damaging winds in excess of 60 miles per hour. We already confirmed that at the airport in Evansville, the airport in Henderson. So certainly that potential is there. We're also watching for maybe a spin-up tornado. We haven't seen that anywhere on this line other than brief rotation. It's been a little more significant down in southwestern Kentucky, but so far we have not seen anything of significance tornado-wise in our area. So I believe we do have that camera up now. Stacy, Joe, let's explain the view there. It's our new camera. You may not be familiar with it, just north of Central City.
Yeah, that's the camera there. That's one of our new cameras, was, as you just mentioned there, Wayne, in Central City here. It's our Austin Holmes camera. Now, that's, to kind of give you an idea where this is, it's Phillips Stone Way. Now, that is also Kentucky 189. It is just basically, we have a tornado warning. Oh. It sounds like that was an update of a tornado warning.
Do. So let's get back to first warning Doppler here and see what's going on. And indeed, a tornado warning has just been issued there. So I'm going to zoom in and show you.
Spencer County. It's going to go until 3:15. Radar indicated rotation, but severe thunderstorms capable of producing both tornadoes and extensive straight-line wind damage located near Christney, or 8 miles northeast of Rockport, and they have it moving to the east, Wayne, at 50 miles per hour. Radar indicated rotation, so just our regular tornado warning, but they are seeing enough there on radar to go ahead and put out a tornado warning. Really our first one here in the tri-state today.
Yeah, and my guess is it's probably somewhere in the Christney area where we're seeing that rotation. Joe, could you lift the radar beam up a little bit there? I just want to see the different elevations on that particular beam to see if we're getting a more pronounced signature, maybe a little bit higher up. But that's there's velocity and there's storm relative velocity, and it looks like what the Weather Service is seeing is something there in the Christney area. And as we lift the radar up, now we're beginning to see maybe a little bit more in the way of rotation just south of Christney there, and now we're going way up here. So we normally keep the radar at about 0.5, the lowest tilt, and that kind of tells us what's going on closest to ground level. But sometimes the rotation starts a little bit higher and then begins to come down. But the Weather Service is obviously seeing something here of concern. It's radar indicated, not confirmed, but right now it looks like the most likely area would be very close to Christney along Highway 231, and this would be tracking right along and probably just north of Indiana 70 there, in southeastern portions of Spencer County. So Santa Claus, you are not under the warning, neither is Lincoln City, but you can see this area to the north of the Ohio River, basically southeastern portions of Spencer County under this tornado warning. At the very least, you've got some damaging straight line winds coming your way. The Weather Service did mention that as an enhanced threat also here, but we may be seeing a tornado trying to spin up just along that line here. As I take a look at some of the different velocity products and the reflectivity, also showing a little bit of a notch here. So, and that has now pushed east of 231. So we've got a tornado. It's approaching Indiana 245 here to the east-northeast of Christney, heading up towards 545. That's best guess in terms of where this is. But if you're anywhere in this box, south of Santa Claus, across southeastern Spencer County, and especially east of 231, you want to be in your tornado-safe area. It's radar indicated, but just based on the radar data we're seeing here. Now, the velocity data hasn't caught up yet with the reflectivity, which updates quicker, but you can see that notch right there. My thought is that's probably where that circulation is. I can back this up in time, and you can see that we had the notch coming through Christney, and so that is more than likely where that tornado is trying to spin up. You can kind of see it right now. And this was actually 10 minutes ago as it was pushing into Christney. You see that little notch there. Then it moves to the east of Christney, just north of Route 70. And now that notch is approaching 245, which would be up in the Liberal area, Newtonville, Schley, Kennedy. That appears to be the most favored area for a possible tornado. So that's what I'm really going to focus in on now, this area of Spencer County, which is east of 231 and then south of Santa Claus and Lincoln City, and in particular, Liberal, Schley, Kennedy, those areas right here. This is where we have something trying to spin up on the leading edge of that line just north of Newtonville. So it looks like the threat is playing out along and just north of Indiana Route 70. So if you're in Schley, moving your way, it's going to be crossing 245 here any moment now. So you want to be in your tornado safe area there. Kennedy, Liberal, Schley to the northeast of Newtonville. That appears to be where we have the most favored area for a possible tornado, and that threat now is shifting east of Highway 231. Let's see if the velocity data is refreshed. Indeed, it has. And we're seeing that, again, the wind shift line along 245, but you kind of see how it curls in here, a little bit of a kink in that line. The raw velocity not really doing a good job here. It's that storm relative velocity product. Not seeing a really classic couplet, but it looks like something going on right there. And that matches up really well with that notch that we're seeing in the radar there. So just trying to give you my best guess in terms of where this tornado is trying to spin up. But if you live anywhere here south of Santa Claus, Lincoln City, in the southeastern portion of Spencer County, you want to be in your tornado safe area. Grandview, the Ohio River is the cutoff here. So I'd say Ohio River northeast of 231. And then the northern cutoff here would be the Santa Claus area, 162 points south there. But Santa Claus, no indication that you're under a warning. Heritage Hills, I think you're okay up there. You do have the potential for damaging wind up there, but right now the tornado threat looks like it's crossing 245, moving towards the community of Schley. Joe, Stacy?
We do have a couple of reports now because of that tornado warning there in Spencer County. A trained weather spotter reports a funnel cloud, reporting it about halfway down to the ground just north of Christie, where Wayne has been tracking this possible tornado for you. Again, more than halfway to the ground, so they are seeing something at least try to work its way down to the ground. And then a report of a barn down somewhere in central Spencer County, and that's from the Spencer County EMA director. And then before that, we did have also some power lines down and some poles snapped in Davis County there in Kentucky. Of course, that could just be straight line winds. We didn't have a tornado warning, but anywhere along the line, 60 to 70 mile per hour damaging winds have been our main concern. But it does sound like we're now getting at least some damage from that part of the line that could be trying to produce a tornado, Joe, there in Spencer County.
Yeah, and I've reached out to, I've got some friends in Davis County, so I've reached out to them because at least where one of them lives, this is past. So trying to see if he might have any reports of damage in his area. So just kind of waiting to hear from that. But we have a new severe thunderstorm warning that just came in. This will be from the Louisville office of a severe thunderstorm warning for Ohio County.
Okay, we figured they would probably go under a warning at some point, and now they officially have. It is just a severe thunderstorm warning. And again, that is for Ohio County. So let's get the details on that for you before we send it back to Wayne. It's going to go until 3:30. Severe thunderstorm capable of producing 60 mile per hour winds there with that one, Wayne, moving off to the east like they all have been at about 60 miles per hour.
And if anyone's kind of in their safe zone right now and watching, or you have any friends or family that might be on the road right now in Spencer County, you can let them know that if they want to, they can tune in to WKDQ, which is 99.5 out of Evansville, or WBKR out of Owensboro. They are both simulcasting our coverage right now, Wayne.
All right, and we continue to really focus in here on the potential tornado also. We just brought you up to speed on the other severe storm warnings, but we're continuing to see a signature here on First Warning Doppler that indicates a possible tornado crossing 245, and this will be coming now north of Schley and will probably cross north of New Boston. So that little notch right there, it appears to be where a tornado is trying to spin up, and this would be in southeastern Spencer County. This is Indiana Route 70. There's Newtonville. It looks like it's crossing 245 and now pushing north of Schley, and this started down in the Christie area. So my guess is it's going to be pushing up in this direction and shooting just north of Schley, just to the north of New Boston, as a potential tornado tries to spin up here. I can take a look real quick to see if our shear tracker is picking up on this rotation. Sometimes it does, but it looks like right now it may not. Yeah, you can see it, and this takes a while for the system to really process the data, but these are snapshots over time of where the rotation was occurring, and you can kind of see it coming in a little bit more south of Christie. And that's the circulation we are watching right now. So just wanted to take a look at that. Some more severe thunderstorm warnings are coming in here. Let me quickly take a look here before we update you on that. As far as where that possible tornado is, our best indicator continues to be that notch on First Warning Doppler right there, passing just north of Schley, and then probably passing just north of New Boston, and then it's heading into Perry County. We'll see what the Weather Service office in Louisville decides to do with Perry County. I know that is a severe thunderstorm warning, and that's what the new warnings are coming in right now?
Yes. Okay. That's for Perry and Hancock in Ohio. until 3:30, 60-mile-per-hour straight-line winds on that one.
And they're also, just a heads up, we've also heard from South Spencer Schools. They are holding all students in the schools right now. At least South Spencer's reporting that until the storm passes. So South Spencer Schools, if you have students there, of course, you may be taking shelter because you're in Spencer from the tornado. Same situation there. Of course, they're not releasing students from South Spencer right now until this passes. So we also have a report out of Owensboro here for you. Of course, this is out of the, at least almost out of the Owensboro area. The front, the main line of wind is now going to be in the eastern part of the county, but the Owensboro Airport actually measured a 65-mile-per-hour wind gust there at the Owensboro Airport. So this is definitely a very damaging wind event, which that was the main threat with these storms that we've been talking about the past couple of days, are the damaging winds that could be possible with this. So a 65-mile-per-hour wind gust there at the Owensboro Airport. And what else do we have here, Stacey?
The Highway 81 in Davis County also reported closed right now due to some power lines and poles down and across the highway. So getting several reports from parts of Davis County about trees, power lines down from at least strong damaging straight line winds. And then also we got a gust of 58 miles per hour down in Muhlenberg County. And the latest on the warnings is that Paducah is going to continue that severe thunderstorm warning for Hopkins, McLean, and Muhlenberg counties until 3:15 for at least 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts there. But remember, several of these warnings have gone to a 70-mile-per-hour wind gust, and we've had reports of winds between 60 and 70 miles per hour, and they have been causing some damage.
Okay, and it looks like this tornado warning is just about over with for Spencer County. The leading edge is now along the Perry County line. The Weather Service out of Louisville has decided not to go with the tornado warning, and it looks like that circulation is a little less pronounced. We never really saw a good signature with the velocity data here, but we continue to see that little notch in the reflectivity, and that notch is a little less pronounced. It might be up here just west of Huffman, but it doesn't look as organized as it was when it came through the Christney area and then north of Indiana 70. So what's left of that storm that was rotating, it may still be rotating a bit, is now pushing up here into northwestern portions of Perry County, and indeed the warning has expired. So tornado warning no longer in effect. We'll continue to watch that as it continues to move into Perry County, but that circulation has weakened. Up in Du Bois County, the worst of the storm has now shifted well to the east of 231 through the Huntingburg area. Jasper, you're not under a warning, but the worst of that line has moved on through your area. And it looks like the leading edge is now pushing towards southeastern Du Bois County. Celestine, Birdseye, you're on the leading edge right now in Perry County. Siberia, you're on the leading edge. And it looks like that wind shift line is right along the northern Spencer Perry County line. That's where we had that circulation, and that may be one because that other circulation was shifting north of New Boston. And Joe, if you could get that Muhlenberg County camera up here shortly, because we have the line bearing down on Central City here. We want to take a look at that. But in Hancock County, you can kind of see is now just west of Tell City, just west of Cannleton. And then it's through the Owensboro area. And then it looks like the leading edge is now along the eastern portion of Davis County. So the Davis, Hancock, Ohio County line, that just updated. So it's just pushing through Whitesville right now and then curling back here to Bells Run. And then farther to the south as we head into western Ohio County, Bells Run down to Beta. There's Maxwell, Matanzas on the leading edge. There's Centertown, so Beaver Dam, Hartford still here to the east. The line's not quite there yet. And as we head down to Central City, there is the line moving through. Our camera's about right there. What's the view from that right now, Joe and Stacey?
Yeah,
it's up right now.
Yeah, I got that for you.
And real quick, though, the tornado warning for Spencer County has been canceled. We still have all those severe thunderstorm warnings, though.
But yeah, we can, Zach, I think you're directing still. We can take that Central City camera. We can take that Central City camera full screen if you don't mind. And I'm not sure how fast the reaction time is. We're going to kind of just do a slow little pan here. But this is Phillips Way down in Central City here. Now, this is kind of already passed over, but you can see the lens is wet, but really shaky because the winds are still really going down there in Central City right now. So we'll kind of pan just a little bit more. But right now what we're doing is we're actually looking basically due west right now. So we'll kind of continue to go. In fact, I can actually speed this up just a little bit. We can kind of flip the camera just off to the east and kind of see if there's anything going on there. Of course, there's a tree line back there, so can't really see too much. So this is kind of the main event looks like now for Central City. But you can see how that camera, as I stop it here, really rocking right now on that pole. So. And we've got more reports of damage coming in right now. This is actually from OMU, Owensboro Municipal Utilities. So if you're watching our coverage right now on a mobile device and because your home is without power, I want to give you an update right now of what OMU is saying. They're saying that 2 transmission poles are broken along Carter Road and Flamingo Avenue. I'm not familiar with how power companies work, but usually transmission lines being down, that is not a really good deal there. In fact, what I'll try to do is actually pull up the OMU power outage map and kind of see if anything's going on there, if they've got that updated just yet. But 2 transmission poles are down, Carter Road and Flamingo. They're also saying an additional 4 poles are broken on West Parish Avenue near Bosley Road and Walnut Street. So, of course, they're asking folks to avoid that area, and of course they kind of got to wait for the storms to get through. Of course, this is basically through that area now, so wow, yeah. All right, OMU has a lot of power outages, that is for sure. One area right now that is being affected when it comes to the Owensboro area is going to be right there, basically along the riverfront, just East 2nd Street, East 4th Street, and then right there. In fact, that road's not coming up. But anyhow, riverfront, 628 without power along the riverfront. Then once we get basically over to Ford Avenue, Mayfair, St. Mary's, Fleming, of course, just mentioned Fleming, 740 without power over in that area. So lots of power outages there, basically right along the downtown area. So we'll get back over to Wayne right now, and Zach, you can take the Max 1 computer now since Wayne's going to head back to the wall. But yeah, we've got a lot of power outages over in Davis County right now, and most likely because of those straight line winds.
Indeed, and that's been the big story here today. Lots of reports of damaging straight line winds, or at least pockets of winds in excess of 58 miles per hour, which is severe criteria, and reports of certainly power outages, which indicates there's been some sort of damage, either a power line or a tree onto a power line. But you can see the leading edge of the storms now, almost clear of eastern Du Bois County. It's just pushing now into western Perry County. It's pushing right across Hancock County. So Tell City, Candleton, Hawesville, this is the main event for you right now. And that leading edge now pushing into western Ohio County and back into southeastern Muhlenberg County. So the severe threat over with for Madisonville, Calhoun, Owensboro, certainly Jasper, you weren't under a warning there, and then points to the west. Still some rain with a little bit of lightning back to the west, including the Evansville area. But the severe threat is on the leading edge of this line, and it should be pretty much clear of our eastern counties in another 30 to 45 minutes. So hopefully by 4 p.m. we'll be done with this severe weather threat, and we can catch our breath and just watch things kind of dry out here for the rest of the afternoon. But that is still a significant line of storms. Let me slow it down here for you. And once again, we'll ride the line from north to south. And it looks like we got a new warning that has just come in. And that is for...
And just for us, just Muhlenberg County. And that's going to go until 3:30. That is a severe thunderstorm warning, but I think they have, but they do have the tornado possible tag on it and 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts there. So again, Muhlenberg County, you guys are now under that severe thunderstorm warning until 3:30 for 60-mile-per-hour wind gust.
So it looks like if the line of storms has not hit you yet and you're watching here in the tri-state, you are under a severe storm warning because the entire line is in our eastern counties, and all of our counties that have yet to be hit are under a severe storm warning, and that does include the southeastern Du Bois, Perry, Hancock, Ohio, and now all of Muhlenberg counties for the potential of damaging straight line winds and perhaps a spin-up tornado. We haven't had any confirmation of that today. We've at times seen some rotation. We, of course, have the tornado warning in effect there for a while in Spencer County, but no reports of an actual tornado, though a spotter did indicate there was a funnel up there. So starting on the northern end of the line here, We can see the threats over for Jasper and Huntingburg. Pretty much for Birdseye, it looks like that leading edge is now just pushing out of Du Bois County into Crawford County. But in Perry County, this is your main event. The leading edge in the western part of the county still. It has pushed through Tell City. It's now moving towards Cannleton and Hawesville. So Cannleton, Hawesville, you're on the leading edge of potential damaging wind. And we've had numerous reports of gusts over 60 miles per hour. So would certainly expect that here in Perry County, with that part of the line that's, of course, moving for the rest of the county. There's Leopold, but again, moving through the Cannleton, Hawesville area. Looks like the gust fronts move through Tell City. In Hancock County, it's through Lewisport, of course, moving towards Patesville, and then right along the northern Ohio Davis County line, pushing through Whitesville right now. Of course, Fordsville over here, moving your way. Hartford, the leading edge, just off to your west, along with Beaver Dam. So it looks like it's in western Ohio County here. And then farther to the south down here in Muhlenberg County, we showed you the view here earlier from north of Central City, so the worst is over there. Leading edge is moving into Rockport, Kentucky, and then back curling to the east of Greenville, so Penrod, Kirkmansville, just south of our area. These storms are out ahead of the main line, which is back here a little farther to the west. So looks like southeastern Muhlenberg, a good deal of Ohio County, and then I'd say eastern portions of Hancock, still a good deal of Perry County under a severe storm warning as this line continues to push to the east. Numerous reports of gusts over 58 miles per hour with at least power outages. So that looks to be the big concern here as we head through the rest of the afternoon and hopefully have all this done with by about 4 o'clock this afternoon. So I'll show you the home view once again. I'll also show you some of the storm reports that have come in to our system. Sometimes it takes a while for these to really filter in, but you can see that report. You can see that little funnel there up in Spencer County. I believe that's where the spotter indicated there was a funnel cloud. We'll get the report on that. And sure enough, 253 in the Christney area, a funnel cloud reported there. I was checking out some of these other reports in Owensboro. Wind gust, we told you about that at the airport, 66 miles per hour. Is that the strongest gust so far?
That was.
Yeah, I believe so. So that's the airport on the southwest side when that line went through there, 66 mile per hour gust. And then in Henderson, we told you about that, a 59 mile per hour gust also at the airport, up a little farther north there, southeast side of Evans, or south side, 62 mile per hour gust. And then a few more reports coming in through the Evansville area. Some thunderstorm wind damage. Not sure exactly where in Evansville that was. Near the airport?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then also kind of over on the west side of Evansville, too, we had at least some wind damage.
Yeah, and it also looks like Darmstadt you had some?
Yeah, we had one in a large tree down in Darmstadt and another large tree down in McCutcheonville.
Okay, so yeah, that's the all the storm reports that have come in, of course.
Lines down up in Holland, up in Du Bois County. That's not showing up yet, but one report at least has come in from at least part of Du Bois County around the Holland area.
Okay.
And Wayne, I just got a picture in of this is Carter Road in Owensboro, and this pole is just snapped right in half. Just got it texted me from a friend, but yeah. So Carter Road, Owensboro police are there blocking it off. That's an OPD car there in the picture, but we got. Looks like, Stacy, maybe two power, one leaning over and another one snapped there. So, again, that's just kind of why OMU was reporting. You know, we've got two areas, the largest areas with OMU, 628 without power, 740 without power in another part of Davis County, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 other locations that have probably close to 200 without power. So, a lot of damage there down in Davis County right now, power poles.
Yeah, straight line winds of 60 miles per hour will certainly do that. Here are the shear tracks, and these kind of highlight the areas where some of the strongest winds have occurred and even a little bit of rotation in the past couple of hours. And again, right now, Hartford, Beaver Dam, you are under the warning there. That line is pushing
near Hartford.
54 mile per hour, just below severe criteria. But you can see that swath of rotation with some stronger winds that went up through the Fisherville area, northern Warwick County. Also Henderson, there was a little swath there. And that's the one that eventually started to spin and prompted the tornado warning. But you can see that rotation as it pushed across southern Spencer County really fell apart to the east of Christney. So a good sign there. But this is kind of an indicator of where the the stronger winds may have occurred this afternoon. So I'll pan down a little farther here to the south. You can see another swath coming across eastern Webster, northern McLean, and then through Davis County. We told you about the power outages there. And then a little more scattered down in our far southern counties, but much more pronounced just south of the tri-state there with that cluster that was going through just north of the Kentucky-Tennessee line. So that's kind of what has been happening. Let's get back to live first warning Doppler radar and show you what's going on with this line, which is now pushing into the eastern fringe of the tri-state. So now the severe threat pretty much over with for Du Bois County, Spencer County, Davis County, McLean County, and a good deal of Muhlenberg, but still southeast Muhlenberg. I'd say the eastern half of Ohio County, Hartford and Beaver Dam, you're getting the main event right now. Almost clear of eastern Hancock County, still marching across Perry County. So looks like that leading edge is pushing into the eastern portion of Perry County right now. Still a good deal of rain coming in behind this. So this is not going to dry out immediately once the storms push on through. Even a little bit of cloud to ground lightning still in the Henderson area. So can't rule out a little bit there of some lightning, but at least the severe threat now limited to the eastern fringe of the tri-state and should be over with certainly by 4 o'clock, if not 3:45, the way it's looking right now. And these storms will continue to move eastward into central Kentucky and south central Indiana. Of course, going into this event, it was an enhanced level 3 threat for severe weather, not like Friday night when we had that moderate level 4. And that was into the moderate category because of the potential of tornadoes, long track, strong ones. And we were very fortunate on Friday. This is a different scenario. Still some shear out there to cause a little spinning in the atmosphere, but not expecting anything pronounced in terms of a strong tornado, but a spin up not out of the question. This is more of a straight line wind event. That's why we went into the enhanced level 3 threat for that potential of more widespread damaging straight line winds. And indeed, we're kind of seeing that here this afternoon. It looks like that risk may be verifying all the reports of power outages and wind gusts in excess of 58 miles per hour. Of course, overnight, a deadly tornado in Bollinger County, Missouri, and that's where we were really concerned west of the tri-state overnight, where there was a lot more support for strong, long-track tornadoes, and those leftovers got into our area earlier this morning, but by that time they were weakening. But a bad situation just west of the Mississippi overnight. All that energy, fortunately, today shot well to our north, and that's why we're not dealing with a really high tornado threat here, even though it's a tornado watch. Now, that doesn't mean that tornadoes are more of a concern than damaging straight-line winds. Storm Prediction Center basically will go with a severe storm warning if they're not worried about tornadoes at all. But if there's that chance of maybe a few tornadoes, but even wind is still the main concern, they'll do the tornado watch just to give you a heads up that a tornado can't be ruled out. And that's the situation we're in today. But fortunately, as far as we know, no confirmed reports of an actual tornado, but lots of confirmation here of damaging straight line winds. So we'll ride the line here from north to south one more time as it continues to approach the eastern fringe of the tri-state. We'll get the camera up here and zoom it into Perry County. So we'll start up here. Threat is now over with in Du Bois County. So we start up here in Perry County, the leading edge, almost to the Ohio River there in the eastern part of the country. It is pushed through, or the county, I should say. It's through Leopold. We're pushing through Leopold right now. Tell City, Cannleton, Hawesville, the worst of the line has moved through your area. It's also pushing through Tobinsport right now and should be clear of Perry County here, I'd say, in the next 10 minutes.
I'll let that warning expire for Du Bois and Perry. Okay,
very good. And then Hancock County, just about over with. If you're watching down in the far southeastern corner of Hancock County, that would be south and southeast of Patesville. You may still have some strong damaging wind there. In Ohio County, leading edge is pushing into Fordsville right now, just about to go into Horse Branch. It looks like the worst has moved through the Hartford Beaver Dam area. I'm always reluctant to say the threat is ended because sometimes even behind the main gust front, you'll get some surging strong winds on the backside of the storm. So we'll give
60 mile per hour gusts now down in Ohio County.
Okay, and what part of the county do we know?
No.
Okay, no confirmation exactly
specific
where it was, but so some severe wind gusts being reported down in Ohio County. But the worst, and again, it would be on that leading edge here where we have that greatest potential for damaging wind. Fordsville, about to move into Horace Branch down in Muhlenberg County. It looks like it's just the southeastern part of the county now. And I would say with this line here, out ahead of the main line, the threat in Muhlenberg is winding down for Penrod.
Down in Ohio County.
Okay.
No.
Yep.
So Muhlenberg County.
Muhlenberg County.
Sorry. You're talking Ohio County?
Ohio, yeah.
Oh, okay.
It was at the Mesonet site, so we're trying to figure out Hartford.
In the Hartford
Yep.
area, okay. You can see out ahead of that main line, we have a storm that's actually producing a lot of lightning here in the Morgantown area. That's outside of our area. I believe that's Butler County. But that looks like it's going to be a player for south central Kentucky. Anytime you get a lot of lightning, especially out ahead of the main line, that might be something that's really trying to go severe. Not that these aren't severe, but that one looks a little more concerning, but that is now east of our area. So severe threat is winding down. You know, normally for severe storm warnings, we would not be in wall-to-wall coverage. We kind of would get on air and then back off again, but we had so many today, and it all started with the first warning for the Evansville Metro, that considering the situation we've been in, certainly the threat Friday night, a lot of folks on edge with the threat today, we went ahead and stayed on with continuous coverage here because of the number of people impacted by damaging straight line winds. And that, you know, sometimes, you know, tornadoes certainly are bad, but tornadoes generally affect a much smaller area, thank goodness. But straight line wind events affect a much larger area. So sometimes those are much more impactful to the viewers as a whole than perhaps just one isolated tornado. So that's why we're kind of staying on air until this threat ends, and it should be ending here in the next 15 to 30 minutes, and then we'll just kind of gather information on the damage that has occurred. But it looks like the worst of the line almost out of Perry County. So I would say, coming up here at certainly by 3:30, we'll be able to go back to regular programming. But Joe and Stacey, anything new on your end out there in terms of what we're seeing?
Yeah, I got a couple more damage reports. Of course, it's Vanderbilt County, which you know is in the clear right now, but 2200 block of Southeast Browning Road. So as I'm going to kind of get that pulled up because I know sometimes you may not be familiar where that is.
And Control Room, you can go ahead and take the radar full screen so we can continue to kind of watch that line as Joe runs through these reports.
So Browning Road right now, we're going to report there. I'm just scrolling social media here to see what people are saying, but they're saying Southeast Browning Road, that a tree is down and that is blocking the roadway. So that's actually not too far. Well, it didn't actually pick up where Browning Road was. So let me tell it to search again. Oh, yes. Okay. Actually, that's going to be where we've already had a storm report earlier. Kansas Road, Petersburg, and Southeast Browning. That is just basically right there at the airport. Yeah. So we've already had now 2 storm reports of trees and such down in that area. And then we have another report that says St. Philip's Road near Copper Line. That's actually going to be over in Posey County. Copper Line Road is. That's over, I believe, in the Mount Vernon areas where that may be. But that's a tree covering a road over there. St. Philip's near Copper Line. So that's going to be Posey County area. I don't know if it's the tree down or not. They've got a picture. It looks more like just kind of maybe half the tree down.
Yeah, but a good sized part of the tree.
But a good chunk surely is down. And that was the main threat, damaging winds. And of course, a lot of people, and as you should, focus on, are we going to see a tornado? What's the chance for a tornado? And keep in mind that a tornado can spin up quickly and be gone, knocks over a barn, or as we know back earlier last month where it took the roof there off the St. Joe Church in Vanderbilt County. But damaging wind threat, that's broader. That can sometimes do more damage in more areas. And
most of our counties have been under one of these warnings this afternoon.
Right, yeah, because I mean, we had the straight line wind damage in Owensboro, and look how much of Owensboro is being affected right now. I mean, there are people without power right at the riverfront, all the way down to where OMU basically stops their service, which they stop their service right there pretty much at Town Square Mall. That's going to be Town Square Mall is where it's going to be. Then it kind of curves back over and goes up towards the Natcher Parkway, and they've got well over probably close to 2,000 people in Owensboro without power. So that just kind of shows what straight line damage can do when it comes to events like this. A tornado could be more confined to an area and cause a whole lot of damage, but damaging winds can do just as much, if not more, Stacey.
That's right, and we are still under a severe thunderstorm warning. We just got an update from the National Weather Service out of Louisville for Ohio County. So you guys still under that warning. They're going to keep that going for 60-mile-per-hour wind gust as that storm moves east at 60 miles per hour. But like Wayne said, probably around the 3:30 time frame. Well, you can see the leading edge of that almost to the eastern edge there of Ohio County. So we're getting close to getting the leading edge of this line just east of the tri-state, and then we'll be able to kind of catch our breath before we have Eyewitness News at 4.
Yeah, and then checking not much power outage with Centerpoint. That's the good news there. They're only reporting 254 without power right now across portions of Vanderburgh County where Centerpoint Energy has their service area. But again, Owensboro, Davis County is a lot of areas are without power. And unfortunately, the latest here from OMU, because they kind of actually will send out text message updates and things of that nature. We've had areas without power for 46 minutes, some without power for 32 minutes, and at this time, there's no ETAs to when that can get fixed. And of course, they have to kind of wait until the storms are out of there.
There, we're showing you the map that Joe's been looking at.
So there it is. That's the OMU outage map. Now, of course, keep in mind, OMU is not the only one that serves Davis County. OMU, Owensboro Municipal Utilities, Kenergy also serves the area. I think Kenergy might kind of do the rural area of Davis County. So there's the map right now. You can see those colored polygons there. That would be indicating where the power outages are. But, I mean, get this right here. When it comes to Kenergy in Davis County, that's where the most confined damage is also for Kenergy. They're reporting nearly 3,500 people without power right now in Davis County. Then some sporadic ones, 14 in Henderson. Hopkins County, 49 outages across the county. But Davis County, when it comes to Kenergy, reporting nearly 3,500 outages and really kind of more confined by the airport right now, which they had the biggest wind gust over there, Stacey.
Yeah, that we've heard of at least.
Yep, and then we've got some there south of the Audubon Parkway. There's the Kenergy map for you now. Now, Kenergy also, the map you're seeing there, they also service Henderson County, even down into parts of Crittenton County over towards Union. So Kenergy's a kind of a broader area. That darker shade of gray you see is where the Kenergy map's going to be. But you kind of see all those colors there,
clustered.
the little clusters Stacey's mentioning. That is all in Davis County. So I think there's going to be parts of Davis County that are going to be without power, if I were to guess, the rest of the day, and maybe even more so really into tomorrow, Wayne. In fact, the storms we had not too long ago, Kenergy had several customers without power, I want to say, Wayne, for probably close to 2, 3, 4 days because of all the damage to the poles it did down there. So Kenergy, OMU have their hands full right now.
Indeed, but at least the severe threat looks like it's just about over with. You can see the leading edge of that line of storms that has prompted all the warnings. The damaging winds this afternoon is now pushing east of the tri-state. Now, technically, a few warnings may hang on for eastern portions of some of these counties. We're going to keep those going across the bottom of your screen, but this particular severe weather event is coming to an end. So some rain lingering back here to the west, and that rain could be very slow to gradually pull away to the southeast for the rest of the afternoon and for the evening hours. I want to show you the real big picture here. We're not the only ones being impacted by this storm system. Matter of fact, a good deal of the country. Look at the severe threat all the way from Cleveland, Ohio, almost to Erie, Pennsylvania, down into northeastern Louisiana, a long, broad area of severe thunderstorm risk. And then within that, we've got the tornado threat, which includes mainly southern Indiana and looks like far north central Kentucky. But we're, again, on the back edge of all of that, and our severe weather threat is winding down. We've got crews in the field right now assessing the power issues, the damage that we've had. If you have damage at your location, make sure you have our Tri-State Weather app or our Tri-State On The Go app, and you'll notice in the bottom right-hand corner of that app, there's a submit button. You can actually submit your pictures so that we can get them on the air and show what has happened in your neighborhood. I think it's pretty safe for the most part to get out there and assess what damage you may have. But again, send your pictures into us via our Tri-State Weather Authority app, which is available, of course, in both Android and Apple, and we'll be sharing some of those pictures coming up, starting on Eyewitness News first at 4 on ABC 25, and of course we'll continue with our newscast through the late afternoon and evening hours. But things really ramped up this afternoon. The good news is we didn't deal with the strong tornadoes overnight, but we'll have information on the fatalities that occurred in southeastern portions of Missouri, Bollinger County overnight. Like a strong tornado went through that area middle of the night. We were really concerned about that, and unfortunately that did happen off to our west. But as far as we were concerned here in the immediate tri-state area, it has been damaging straight line winds, but quite a bit. I think this enhanced threat, which was driven by that widespread damaging straight line wind potential, is pretty much verifying for the area. And that threat now coming to an end. So we're going to be going back to regular programming. We'll continue to scroll the information across the bottom of your screen for any lingering issues with any of the severe storm warnings. And the watch may technically continue for a little while longer, but the leading edge of the significant damaging straight line winds is now pushed off to the east of the tri-state. We appreciate you staying with us here on both ABC 25 and the CW7. And we have another update before we go back?
Looks like they've issued a new severe thunderstorm warning for Ohio County.
Okay. Let's, we were going to go back to programming here.
Looks like they may be updating it, but they have put out something new with this.
Yeah, I think it's for the far eastern part of the county. And let's get back down there. Yeah, it's far eastern Ohio County. And okay, let's zoom in here. Just when we thought we were done with this.